Show business, and this week Michael Jackson and the Jackson family staged a show in Las Vegas to demonstrate their family solidarity and their continuing ability to make people pay large amounts of money for tickets. It was a huge success. The ecstatic audience joined in with many a cry of boo, get off, and we want our money back, when it became clear that Michael wouldn't be singing, dancing, or even breathing without legal advice and medical attention. It was the climax of a story that began when the Jacksons first proved that a family could sing in harmony, even though it lived in discord. He rocks in the treetop all day long, happy mama that's singing his song. Little Michael was only one of the Jackson 5. On stage, there were 4 more Jacksons, and off stage, there were at least 27 other Jacksons, all on the payroll. One by one, the Jacksons went on to individual careers in international entertainment, fast food catering, and all-night laundry services. Michael became one of the most famous white men ever to sing the blues. He had a childlike quality. There wasn't a child he didn't like. But Michael's sister, Toya, was just as dazzling a world figure. In recent times, Toya has been in the news almost as much as Michael. She's been appearing in all the intellectual publications, identifying with Michael and sometimes being identified as Michael. In a situation where Michael Jackson and all the other Jacksons don't say anything except that he's innocent, Toya is ready to say something more. She says he isn't innocent. Or does she mean something else? Let's find out. Toya is in Las Vegas right now, but the information highway takes us there in a megabyte microsecond as we ask, can you hear me, Toya Jackson?
Yes, I can hear you. How are you, Clive?
Oh, I'm fine, and I'm very, very glad to be talking to you through space like this. Why didn't you turn up at the television family reunion last Sunday night? Didn't they invite you?
Well, actually, I was not invited in a formal way whatsoever. It was a strange invite, as I must say. What happened basically was there was a piece of paper that was given to my manager for me to sign, and that paper basically was a gag order not to say anything about Michael whatsoever. And from what I understand, every member of the family had to sign that paper from Michael's people. And if I signed the paper, then it would be okay. However, I did not sign the paper.
Didn't I read that your mother said the reason you didn't turn up at that concert last weekend was that someone paid you not to show up?
Yes, absolutely. That's what she said. And she said that simply because when she did find out that my manager had purchased 20 tickets front row, right in the front, she was frightened that I was going to be there. So she hired an additional 100 securities, 500 walkie-talkies she rented, and their orders were strictly to keep me off the premises. If they see me, alert everyone in the building and make sure that I don't get inside and don't get into the premises. So she knew one way or another I would never be a part of that reunion and I would never get in. Then she turns around and calls the tabloids and tells them that I was paid an astronomical amount of money not to come. So she says, you won't be seeing Toya.
Is it true that your family have actually tried to kidnap you?
Yes, it is. Actually, several times they've tried to. As bizarre as it may seem or sound, I didn't believe in the beginning either, and I thought, well, gosh, this is the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard of, and I laughed about it. I thought it was really funny, because I'm the daughter. What are they going to do with me?
You've appeared in Playboy a couple of times. Can I ask you what your family's reaction was to that?
Well, of course, my mother wasn't too pleased with it, but everybody has their different opinions, and I have a large family, as you well know. Michael, however, felt that they were very good pictures, that they were very artistic, and knew exactly why I did it. And the other brothers felt it's okay, and then some felt, well, if that's what she wants to do, that's fine. So there were a lot of mixed feelings, actually.
Toya, I do have to say that there is an extraordinary physical resemblance between you and Michael. It goes beyond brother and sister. Are you ever mistaken for each other?
Are we mistaken for each other?
Yeah.
Absolutely not. No, we don't think we look alike at all, but other people seem to think so.
Well, you do see stories that Michael has come to look a lot like you and that he wants to, and that he had surgery in order to accomplish this. Is there anything in that?
Well, yes, there is some truth to it, but he's unhappy with what he looks like, but I'm sure he's happy today. So apparently he altered his looks.
Do you think he just thinks that you're a happier, more balanced person than he is, and he'd like to be you?
I really don't know, because when I lived at home and we were very, very young, Michael would spend a lot of time photographing me and taking pictures, and he would make my face up in the whole bed, and he would put me next to a tree with a swing or something, or by the pool, and have me stretch by the pool. And he was always constantly taking pictures of me, and always giving me a great deal of compliments. And I found that very nice and kind of unusual, too, for a brother to do that, but it was flattering, too, at the same time.
You seem to have a tremendous affection for snakes, Latoya. Where does that fascination come from?
Well, actually, we grew up with lots of different animals, exotic animals, and of course we always had snakes around the house. So it was nothing unusual for us or for me to have a snake. I think a lot of people who aren't used to it, who've never been around them, think it's quite unusual. But when you have them around your house, like a pet or shop or zoo or something, it's very common and natural.
I read once that Michael showed you a human brain that he kept in a jar in his bedroom. How did you feel about that at the time?
He did show me a brain, yes, and I didn't know what I was going to see because he was screaming, "Come, you must come now." I'm going, "Late, I'm in a hurry, I have to go." And he was screaming, "You must come, you have to come." And he took me into his room and took me into the bathroom, and there it was in a jar. And there was this brain. I said, "Oh my God, how gross." I thought it was the most grotesque looking thing I had ever seen. And he said, "Isn't it wonderful? Isn't it fascinating?" Well, yes, I guess it was to him, and it was quite interesting, but I found it to be grotesque. Just looking at it, girls sometimes you can only look at things for a little while and go, "Ew," and turn your head.
What intrigued me about that story is that nobody seemed to ask where the brain actually came from. Do you have any idea?
I said where to get it, and he said the doctor.
Latoya, we have to finish now, but can I say it's been a riveting experience talking to you.
Yes, you may. Thank you very much, Clive. It was nice talking to you as well.